Good evening. We're learning more tonight about the events leading up to the shooting deaths of those two New York police officers, an attack that has sparked anger and anguish around the country. Investigators have traced the gunman's activities ahead of that ambush, including the moment he told pedestrians, quote, "Watch what I'm going to do." Meanwhile, a memorial tonight as New Yorkers remember the fallen officers in Brooklyn. That's where NBC's Stephanie Gosk begins our coverage. Stephanie, good evening.
Good evening, Carl. I'm at a vigil here with hundreds who have come out to support the police officers and their families, as well as promote peace. While we're learning more details of this crime, investigators believe the gunman acted alone and that he was on something of a shooting spree. It began when he first allegedly shot his girlfriend, who's now recovering in the hospital. He then traveled up to New York, where he staged this deadly ambush. The deadly ambush right here in this neighborhood in Brooklyn. Investigators now believe 28-year-old suspect Ismail Brinsley was motivated, at least in part, by rage towards the police. Looking closely at Instagram messages they say were likely posted by Brinsley in the hours before the shooting. A photo of a silver gun and references to the deaths of both Eric Garner and Michael Brown. They take one of ours, let's take two of theirs. One hashtag reads, "Shoot the police." Brinsley, who killed himself after being chased by police, had at least 15 prior arrests, including a felony charge for weapons possession. Police say 40-year-old Officer Rafael Ramos and 32-year-old Officer Wenjin Liu didn't even see him coming.
They were quite simply assassinated, targeted for their uniform.
Ramos's 13-year-old son posted a message to his father on Facebook. Everyone says they hate cops, but they are the people that they call for help. I will always love you. The head of the police officers union in New York blamed protesters and weeks of demonstrations against heavy-handed police tactics.
There's blood on many hands tonight. Those that incited violence on the street under the guise of protest.
The union also holds New York Mayor Bill de Blasio responsible. Officers turned their backs to him Saturday night when he visited the families of the officers killed. In a statement, a spokesman for Mayor de Blasio said it's unfortunate that in a time of great tragedy, some would resort to irresponsible, overheated rhetoric. Today, former New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani laid at least part of the blame at the feet of President Obama.
We've had 4 months of propaganda, starting with the president, that everybody should hate the police.
Brooklyn President Eric Adams is a former NYPD officer.
It's time for us to ensure the safety of the public and the police, and we do that by toning down our conversation.
Adams supports police reform, but is asking that the protests stop until both officers are buried, while Eric Garner's family is making a plea to their supporters.
We want you to not use Eric Garner's name for violence, because we are not about that. These two police officers lost their life senselessly.
That is a sentiment at least most people in this city can agree on. In a tragic twist, we are learning that the Baltimore Police Department issued an APB for Brinsley at 2:46 in the afternoon. A minute later at 2:47, Officers Ramos and Liu were shot in their vehicle, narrowly missing an alert that may have saved their lives. Carl.
NBC's Stephanie Gosk in Brooklyn tonight. Stephanie, thanks. We're joined tonight by Philadelphia Police Commissioner Charles Ramsey. He has recently been named co-chair of President Obama's task force on 21st century policing. Commissioner, there is so much emotion surrounding this case and police work in general. What does a leader, a mayor, a citizen do to foster some unity right now?
Well, right now, I think everyone just needs to take a deep breath, step back a bit, and slow down on the heated rhetoric. I think that's part of the issue that led to this, quite frankly. So we need to really have thoughtful discussion. There are a lot of very serious issues that need to be carefully thought through, but certainly going to extremes in terms of the rhetoric is not helpful at all.
New York Mayor de Blasio is criticized for not lending enough support to police officers following the Eric Garner case. Has he created a more volatile situation in your view?
Well, I don't know that much about the politics in New York or anything that's been going on in New York, but I can tell you this. Bill Bratton is one of the best police leaders in the country, and he'll guide his department through this. It's very emotional right now. It's very difficult. I've gone through it here in Philadelphia with the deaths of a lot of police officers murdered in the line of duty, and Bill will get them through. I mean, it's just a tough period of time.